Hey everybody, Ash here again with another cooking video for Black Desert Online. Today I'm going to show you all about making pet food for your pets. Once you buy a pet either from the Pearl shop or the marketplace, they're pretty great picking up things and having different skills, but once they get hungry they won't do anything, so you have to feed them. The easiest way, if you're short on time, is to go to a stable keeper and go to their shop, and you can just buy cheap feed right there. But it is cheap. You get what you pay for. It won't do a whole lot. Another way is if you have lots of loyalty to spend, you can actually go to loyalty and buy some good feed. But I'm going to show you in a minute how to make that a lot easier than spending all your loyalty. You do get some pet food once you buy it from the Pearl Marketplace, but it'll be gone pretty fast. I'm going to show you two different recipes, and one of them, organic pet food, is going to need some meat. So I'm going to go gather a few pieces of beef here. Since my last videos, I've actually moved to Altanova, and that's where my home base is, where my cooking utensils are. So you're going to want to pick somewhere, if you make organic feed, pick somewhere around your home base that has any kind of red meat. Chicken meat will actually need two for organic feed, but that comes later. What you need is to either get some bison, that's what I'm doing. If you're over here in Heidel, there's lots of different things. You could do wolves, you can do foxes, you can do weasels. Even down here in Calphion, over here there's cows. Lots of pigs also. Pigs work. Any type of red meat. And if you look on the marketplace, under material and meat, sometimes you can actually buy it. None of these right now will do us any good, but things like lamb, wolf, pork, deer, all of that. Not lizard though. Red meat will work for this recipe. Here in Altanova, what I found is the easiest is just to go bison hunting. At Stonebreak Shore, right where my farms are too. Just slightly west and then a little north. And there's a bunch of bison here. So remember, when you're gathering, it will take some energy. And you'll need tools. I have a shining steel butcher knife on right now. Plus, I'm going to do my fig pie for gathering increase. And turn on my alchemy stone of life. And that'll help me, hopefully, get some more things. So I'm going to just do a couple here. And the bison you can also tan for the hides, which are useful in making armor. You can also get their blood for alchemy. So it's a pretty good spot. The mobbage isn't great, but it's quick. Around here in Media there's also rhinos that you could do, but they will charge you, especially if you kill their babies. So, for organic pet feed, I'm actually only going to need 5 meat, but let me gather enough just for maybe a couple recipe worth. And organic pet feed is the top feed. I'll also show you how to make that good feed, which will need 6 meat. And this does take some time, especially if you have the beginner tools, because depending on what your gathering level is, makes a big difference on the speed and also what kind of tools you can use. If you're just starting out, it's going to take some time. You can try to pre-order meat on the marketplace, but usually it will go to a super high level player who's bidding on a lot at one time. Okay, how much do I have? I have 49, so we're going to call that good. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to need is fish for both recipes. I guess your pets like to eat fish and beef. And if you've watched my previous episodes, you know there are lots of places to fish, obviously. Anywhere there's water. Grab a fishing rod and do some fishing. And as of the beginning of February, there are also dried fishing nodes. So here obviously is water, you can just go anywhere and fish. But also in the ocean, you'll notice that these, well, maybe that's a bad example. These used to have just normal fish nodes, which I thought were good, but then they take up all my storage. Nowadays, though, they've changed it to be a fishing yard where your workers collect the dried fish already, so they're pretty useful. So once you set up some passive income and workers, you can get lots of dried fish from doing basically nothing. So here in Altanova, I'm going to go back to my storage and grab the rest of my supplies. I'll also link the recipes in the description down below too, so that you can see. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but you do have to do some gathering. So for good feed, I'll need my beef, or any kind of red meat. I'll need my fish, which I have grabbed some. I'll also need some water, and I'll need some flour. And if you haven't noticed before, you just grind any sort of grain like sweet potato, barley, wheat, etc. Grind those up and you get some flour. So I'm gonna grab, I don't know, 200 flour. And so those are my good feed. For my organic feed, I'll need my meat, my red meat. I'll also need chicken meat, which is pretty much the only reason why I still keep my chicken meat. And I'll need fish, and I also need oatmeal. I have some made here, but also I'm going to make it for you, so I still need the flour. Better grab some more. I'll need some milk. There we go. Need some onions and some honey too. I'm grabbing a ton that I don't really need, but just to show you. Okay. A little bit of explanation here. For your good feed, it's really just making sure you have the flour from armies of workers. So at some farms I have potatoes on, I have barley and wheat on, I grind those up and I get the flour. For the organic feed, you're going to need bird meat, which comes from the chicken meat nodes. There's, I think, only two. That's about it. There we go. One here in Finto and one here in Batali. And you can also get the chicken meat on your own personal farms. Like my own personal farms are over here. I'm growing some special chicken feed. I'll get eggs and chicken from that too. Eggs are a lot more valuable than the chicken meat. But the organic pet food actually needs the chicken meat. So there we go. The oatmeal is actually kind of a substitute for beer, but I never use it like that. The oatmeal is pretty easy to make if you have the ingredients. You'll need your flour again. You also need milk. So on my personal farms I have special haystacks, which get me milk, beef, and hide. If you don't have your own personal farm, you can go to a farm that has cows that you can interact with, and you just milk them. And it does use your energy, but it's an easy way to get more milk. So for instance, here in Media, Shuri Farm, no, not Shuri Farm, sorry, Stonetail Horse Ranch also has cows that you can interact with. There's usually at least one farm in every territory that you can go to. There'll be a list that I'll link on to. Onion is either on the marketplace or you can grow it too. I have a ton, so I don't grow much anymore. But it can also be on your personal farm. And honey is probably the first node you should ever invest in. Honey is found here in Alejandro Farm. And there it is, cooking honey. And you just send your workers there. They'll get you tons of honey eventually. You can also gather it from bees, but that takes way too much time. Okay, so now I'm going to start off with good feed, which is good, but not best. And of course I'm going to change into my clothes for cooking. I also have the pearl costume. That gives me a boost. And then my pets here also give me cooking boost too, and life boost. Okay, so interact. This is my new house, I should say. It's very full. interact with a cooking utensil. And for good feed, you're going to want to put in 6 beef. You need a fish. And this is interesting. If you dry like I do, because I always do, you can either use 2 basic fish, which is pretty much anything that's worth under 1400 silver, or you can use 1 dried, more advanced fish. I actually don't have any, but dolphin fish sometimes works. It really depends on your cooking level. You can skimp out on some ingredients, or at least the number of, if you have a high cooking level. So I could try just 1 dried dolphin fish, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm going to do 2 surf perch here, so 2 dried fish of normal quality, or 1 normal fish. You need 3 water, mineral water. I learned that the hard way. If you gather it and you don't do it the right way, you will get different kind of water. The easiest way is just to go to a chef and buy it. And then you need 4 flour, any kind of flour, except teff. Cook it up, and you should get yourself a good feed, or 5 in my case. The higher level, the more you make. So that's 1 for good feed, and it will ease your pet's hunger of 40 points. So that's good, but I'm going to show you good feed, organic feed, now, which is a lot better. 70. First we need to make some oatmeal though. I do have some made, but I'm going to show you how to do that quick. 9 flour. It's very starchy. Whoops. Interact there. 9 flour. You need 3 of your milk. 3 onions of normal quality, or just 1 green kind. I only grow blue kind, so I'm kind of wasting this here because this would really count for 5. But there it goes in. And then 2 honey. 2 honey. So, I'm just going to cook 1. But here comes the oatmeal. And sometimes you will make a higher quality of oatmeal too. There we go. Alright. Now we're ready for organic feed. So, a little more complex here. 2 oatmeal of normal quality. Or if you make the special kind, which I didn't this time, you can only just use 1. It'll be blue or yellow. Okay, 5 red meat. 4 bird meat. And there's a couple ways to do this fish. You can have 2 different kinds of regular fish. Has to be 2 kinds that are not dried. Or you could do 4 basic dried fish. 2 kinds of different basic dried fish. Basically you have to get to 4 dried fish of normal kind, or 2 of the special kind. So I'm going to do 2 and 2, and that's what you'll see on the Black Desert database. And here, if I cook, turn that on quick. There goes my organic feed. And again, depending on your cooking level, you can actually try to do less ingredients. If I do most of the same, so 4, 4, 2, and let's say I just do like 1 and 1. Let's see if it works. Ta-da! Nope. So, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, I just wasted ingredients. But that's in a nutshell how to make different kinds of feed. Good feed, organic feed. Easy to make. You can make it in big quantities as long as you've set up your nodes to have that honey, to get the flour, and make sure you go out hunting for some red meat. Please subscribe and let me know what else you'd like to see.